I built an AI workflow that makes every YouTube thumbnail for me. I'm Patrick Neyland. I run a fractional Chief AI Officer practice. We help small businesses adopt AI. In this video, I'm going to show you how I create thumbnails for YouTube videos I create. I'm going to show you from start to finish how I create an AI workflow for creating reliable graphics, and I'll show you the framework I use to get better AI outputs on creative tasks like this. Let's get started. Okay, I'm starting with a completely blank workspace in VS Code. So here you can see I have the Pat graphic agent. This is just a completely empty folder on my computer. I'm going to add a claude.md file that tells Claude to be my personal assistant. And I'm going to go ahead and have it change itself to be specifically for creating graphics. All right, so I just dragged and dropped it here, and it says this is the Pat agent workspace. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to start an instance of Claude Code, and I'm just going to say, please change the claude.md to be specific for a graphics creation workspace. Everything that I create here is, all the skills that I create here are going to be specifically for graphics, things like thumbnails and overlays and videos. Please update the claude.md and set up my workspace appropriately. The first skill I want to create is the thumbnail generator skill. Leave it blank for now. I'll work on it in another chat. So this is me just telling Claude what to do. This is my Pat graphic agent workspace. This is the materials that Claude is going to be working with, and I am telling it to set up my workspace. I can give you guys this claude.md, just send me a message and I'll send it over. Find me on social media and just ask me about it. Actually, you don't have to send me a message. I thought better of it and just created a public Google Drive folder. So the link to this Pat graphic agent claude.md will be right here. And I'll rename it to claude.md graphic or something like that. But the link will be in the description below. All right, so I'll share it with you. It's the claude.graphic.md. You will want to just change it to claude.md if you're creating it in your own workspace. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. All right, I'm going to start a new chat and say, okay, I would like to start building the thumbnail generator skill. I would like to make in the skill an API request to NanoBanana because it is the best at video generation. I will give you code. I would also like to set up a couple pictures of myself and examples of great YouTube thumbnails. Can you please pull examples of good YouTube thumbnails from people like Nick Sarayev? He posts content like this. And let me know what you need from me. All right, so I have an idea of kind of how I want it created. I want really good reference material. This is the framework I was talking about. We need good reference material, and we need to explain how do we want that reference material used. And then there's an external resource that I want to use. I don't want Claude to just generate it itself. I want to use the best video generation software or models that exist right now. So we're going to pull the models and the API request straight from Gemini, and I will add an API key to access it, and I'll show you how to do that here. Okay, so I'm now in the aistudio.google, and I went ahead and I created an API key. Boom, we have the Pat Dev API key, and we're going to select that. And then here's the NanoBanana 2. And I'm going to say, please create an engaging thumbnail of me teaching people how to create their own graphics using AI. Now, this is kind of rough. I'm going to go to YouTube, and I want to find something about AI. All right, let's see AI tutorial, right? That's the niche that I'm in. Maybe that's a little bit broad. Let's see. This one is from Nick Sarayev, and he has great videos, so maybe that would be good. Let's see. I like this image. Okay. And let's see. I don't know how to download images. Let's see. Let's go way bigger. Alrighty. and I will use this as a source image, and I will use this as a source image. Okay, and then I'll come into AI Studio, and I'm gonna recreate this. So I'm gonna say upload file, and I'm gonna pull in pictures of myself, right? If we're gonna have references, we need to have good references. So I'll pull in from my computer some pictures of myself. So let's see, I wanna add, yes, a picture of myself. Okay, so we've added a cropped picture of myself. Now I'm gonna add a picture, one of those screenshots that I just said. Well, let's see, screenshots, perfect. Okay. Please add my image, the pat cropped circle, and use this other thumbnail as inspiration. So essentially, we want to recreate this experience within Claude Code so that I can do all of this autonomously instead of clicking photos and then also typing out the prompt every time. So we're going to run this, and it's going to do automatic aspect ratio. It's going to do nano banana 2, and we're going to press run control. There's this really cool feature here that gives you the SD. It gives you basically just how to do it in Python. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this, and actually I will, yeah, I'll just copy it. And it's go ahead and it's going to create one, a YouTube thumbnail, but I'm going to come back to my instance of Claude Code, and I'm going to say, oh, let's see. We never sent that message. Okay. All right. It did a good job. I mean, it just recreated it exactly. It used it as inspiration. So I am going to say, please get rid of the progress bar at the bottom and the numbers, how long the video is. Please change absolutely nothing else. So let's see. Perfect. Now, it did a really good job of basically painting me in, and I really like this graphic. This is a good thumbnail. So what we want to do is we want to give Claude a collection of good performing thumbnails and pictures of myself so that when I say, let's create something, it has stuff to work with. If I don't want it to follow any of the templates, I can just say, hey, create an engaging, eye-catching YouTube thumbnail, and it'll create something that's a little bit more unique. But we can make this skill create 2 or 3 different options so that we have options to choose from. But I really like this. This is good. And let's go back and check back on our chat. Oh, this is from another video. Okay. Perfect. Please go and pull a bunch of YouTube thumbnails from Nick Sarayev as examples. Here is the code that I want to use. So, right, we copied and pasted that code for generating the images. And let's see what else it's asking. So, okay, 2 to 3 of yours you like, or competitors whose style you want to match. And so we'll just say, use these as examples. Let me know if you need the actual URL to pull the exact image. Okay, so now we're just going to see what it does, but it's definitely going to create a generate.py, which is perfect. And then it is going to create the basically collection of thumbnails that it's going to be basing it off of. I am still learning how to be a YouTube creator, so my thumbnails are not as high quality. We can go to my YouTube channel, but other people's are much better than mine. So I actually won't switch accounts. We'll go to the studio and we'll take a look at my content. So these are the first 4 that I made, and they were not using any references. But for these, we are going to use references, and I'll show you just how good they can look. Let's check in on our agent. All right, here's a quick check-in. It had a to-do list, and it said search for Nick Sarayev's channel and recent video IDs, download thumbnails from YouTube to input as reference thumbnails. Let's go ahead and look at this skill, thumbnail generator. Okay, it's working. View thumbnails and write notes.md, analyze what makes each one work, and then save the Nano Banana API code as skill starter and update skill.md scaffold. Perfect. It's just working through everything. All right, all 6 thumbnails loaded and inspected. Claude's just doing this all on its own, and I'm setting up my first skill. What's cool about this workspace is I can use it to create all sorts of graphic generating skills. Right now I'm working on a project where I'm overlaying stuff on top of videos that I have. So things like captions and graphics and things like that. It's just creating them. One other cool thing is it can create infographics for explaining complex topics. The sky's the limit. You can use skills where Claude can just control your computer and generate things and do things, so that when I get to the final product, I'll go ahead and do a quick demo of my other thumbnail generator just to show what we're expecting to see here. Okay, here is my private workspace, and it's just my agent that has all sorts of skills. They're completely not graphics related, but here's my thumbnail generator. So I'll go ahead and say, please create a thumbnail of a video where I teach non-technical people how to create graphics skills in Claude Code. All right, we'll take bypass permissions, and it's just going to run with it. All right, let's check this one out. Okay. Your snippet returns a single generated image per call, but Nixarayev's strongest thumbnails rely on pixel-perfect overlay typography, highlight bars, handwritten marker effects, precise word placement. Nano Banana is good, but inconsistent. It gave me... I think it's already really good at it. All right, it needs inputs reference photos. Let's see. So we have reference photos, and we have reference thumbnails. Awesome. It pulled these reference photos. This is a pretty AI generated one from Nick, actually, so I don't love that one. This one's also a little AI generated. He's obviously using AI to generate these things. Okay. I'm going to add an additional one. So I really liked that one video, right? So let's see. We're going to go back to AI. So we're going to go back to YouTube, and we're going to type in AI tutorial. And I'm just going to collect some additional thumbnails. Okay, so we're going to say copy link address. I have some additional thumbnails that I'd like you to look at. Okay, we'll post that one there. Which ones do we like? Okay, I like this one. We'll add that. Okay. And then I like, yes, Nate Herc. He's also big in this space. So we'll copy the link address. And I will go ahead and say, add these. Oops. Please add these thumbnails as well. And I will add a reference photo of myself. All right, now I'll go ahead and just go in and, well, let's take a check on what it created before. So my other skill that's in my main one, it said create graphics in Claude Code, no coding experience needed, beginner friendly, and then, wow. I mean, that looks pretty good. This is what it created. This is what my last one created. So it creates ones like this. And they're just about there. They just aren't following maybe the same formula that other big YouTubers are. So I want to give it some references. But this does look pretty good. I can just be more clear and direct with my messaging. It also comes up with titles and description options. So that's super helpful. So no design skills. Claude Code makes you a pro graphic designer in 15 minutes. All right, these are pretty good these are pretty good. But I can also just build this into my skill. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, I just added this reference photo. It's called the professional photo. I'm going to copy it and just say, here it is. And then please add these thumbnails as well. Perfect. Okay, so we have the reference photos. I should have more of myself. I only have the one. The channel topic and brand accent color. It doesn't need to be specific to my brand, so I can just say the thumbnails don't need to be branded for my site. We don't need to use specific colors or anything. Right, so I'm just extracting it like I would an employee. It's pretty amazing what these things can do. All right, we gave the exact URLs. Okay, more reference thumbnails. I can pull from other creators if Sarive isn't the whole. Yeah, let's see. Yes, pull additional ones from Nate Herc and the other creators that I posted in those video URLs. I know it seems like I'm just scrambling here, but this is the nature of it. You just learn how to know what AI expects from you, right? So we have the thumbnails pulled from those videos that I created. Or wow, yeah. So I wouldn't even know how to copy and paste a thumbnail, but this just does such a good job at doing it itself. So it pulls them, and I'm not connected to any external resources here, just typical Claude code. You can use this on your Claude Pro account. It's wild. So it's building out my references. It's building out everything. And I could even say create variations of my own image so that we have different ones to pull from. So it's updating the skill to remove brand color assumption. It's identifying creators behind the 3 additional video IDs. Find Nate Herc's channel and recent video IDs. Download more thumbnails from each one, and then consolidate notes across all creators. So we'll have some examples. This is fantastic. All right. Then we will update the skill at the end to create thumbnails, create 3 or 4 iterations based on 3 or 4 like randomly selected reference thumbnails, and then we'll say, hey, also tell me how much it costs each time I run this skill. And that'll wrap it up. Then each time I want to create a video, all I have to say is, please create a thumbnail for this video. And it'll give me 3 or 4 different options using 3 or 4 different references. It'll tell me how much it costs to do it. And this entire task that would normally require a lot of brainstorming. And to be fair, I should still brainstorm how to make better thumbnails. But for someone who already knows exactly the type of thumbnails that they want, or they don't want to worry about it at all, this takes over that entire creative feature. Is it going to be the absolute best performing and innovative thumbnails? No. But are they going to be really solid thumbnails? Yes, absolutely. Okay, it looks like we have most of the reference material we want now. So now I want a really hard constraint on the outputs. I would like to, before you build the generate.py, explain exactly the type of output that I want. I want you to randomly select 3 or 4 references and then send, let's do 3 references, then send a prompt to the Nano Banana API endpoint saying, please create a thumbnail in this style with this person's face and about this topic. So it's changing the reference to my image, and I want it to not be the exact same image. So feel free to make it open-ended enough that it can change it a little bit. Just use it as a loose reference. Then I want you to create 2 really open-ended thumbnails, ones that only have the reference image of me and not of a pre-made thumbnail. And I want the prompt for those to just be, hey, create an engaging thumbnail for YouTube about the video topic that I will specify. And that's what I want the output to look like. So I want you to make 5 API calls, 3 that are randomly selected references based on the most appropriate ones, and then 2 that are just other options that are not referencing specific thumbnails so that I can have more variation. And yep, go ahead and make the generate.py. Generate.py with these constraints. Okay, so when I talk to it, I'm going to say, please create a thumbnail for this thing. And it's going to create 5 thumbnails. 3 are going to be referenced from random images, and then 2 are going to be brand new, and they're all going to be about my topic. So let's let it work, and then I'll hop back on once the skill is created. Okay, it's still working. I'm going to go ahead and start another chat because I want it to do something else. Okay, I want it to store my API key for Nano Banana. Please create a .env file so that I can store my Gemini API key so that the skills can use it. All right, it's going to go ahead and create that environment. So this is basically just a file that holds all of my passwords or API keys to request different services. So use this reference loosely. Match composition. Okay. All right, what does it run? All right, we have the .env. I'm going to pull this off screen so that I can copy it, or I'll just paste it right here and then save it. All right, I'll pull it over. All right, my environment variable is now saved in the .env, and I am just going to try running it. This is the first pass. We may need to troubleshoot a couple things, but let's run it. Please create some YouTube thumbnails for a video that I am teaching a non-technical audience. I don't even want to say all that. Let's just say. Please create thumbnails for... Please create a thumbnail for a YouTube video where I am teaching how to edit an AI-generated website using Claude Code. All right, let's check it out. Now, I asked it to do a lot. All right, it did finish. Okay, config sends aspect ratio 16:9. Your reference snippet has had those fields empty. If the API rejects 16:9, I think we're okay. It's just going to run it. Let's see how it goes. This is going to take a second. Check for Gemini API key, common locations, load the .env, and generate thumbnails. All right, it's working. Let's see what we come up with. All right, it just said it's done. So let's go to our output folder and see what we have. All right, Claude Code, fix AI sites, edit like a pro. That's pretty good. All right, edit AI sites in one click with Claude Code. We'll see about that. All right, edit AI sites with Claude Code. I really like this one, and I think this one is probably using a specific reference. Okay, let's see this one. Edit site with Claude Code, AI powered equals done. All right, wow, these are really good. I'm really excited about these, Claude Code. Now, all I have to do is go in and choose these. All right, so I'm gonna make one final change to this skill, and I'm just going to show you how to do it. Now you can edit this however you want, but I want it to tell me how much it costs to generate them. Please add to the thumbnail generator skill a provision for saying how much it costs to generate the skills. Sorry, generate the thumbnails. Use the metadata from the API requests to estimate the cost. Okay. It's going to update this, and then the next time we run it, it's going to say, just like it did, and I'll show you the other one that I used. All right, this is my Pat agent. So it says generation cost, 17 cents, 17.53 cents to generate those two images and the title and description. So really not bad if we're talking about a graphics task that normally takes a lot of time. And I can add whatever references I want. I can also have it occasionally just go search for outperforming YouTube thumbnails to reference. So this is how you do it. If you're interested in learning how AI can help your business, go to neylandsolutions.com in the description, and you can get your AI Opportunity Starter Kit. It's where you'll get an automated report that I built using similar tools to what you see here to give you ideas of how you can use AI in your business to improve efficiency and just do really cool stuff like this, where normally you'd have to hire somebody on Fiverr to do it. I think what you're getting here is better than what you would have been paying somebody on Fiverr 5 years ago to do. And it costs 17 cents and takes like 2 seconds to do it. I don't know, probably takes like 45 seconds to actually generate the images and everything. But you could be doing other stuff during that 45 seconds and it can just ping you when it's done. So if you like this content, leave a comment and let me know what else you'd like to see. Thanks.